This is where we're going to talk about comparing and contrasting how the planters and the plantation owners were alike and how they were different. If you remember, we have the two big circles. The comparing is the part that's going to be in the middle. This is about what both things are like, how they're alike. I'll just put a both here to remind you. On one side, I'm going to have the poor farmers. And on this other side, I'm going to have these planters, they're called. These are the people that lived on plantations. Okay, who can tell me something either about these farmers or the planters or something that's true for both? Go ahead, Janessa.
The poor farmers had to build their own houses.
Okay. And can you tell me about what their homes were like? Can you tell me a little? Do you remember that picture back on 182?
Yes, they were made out of wood. And
Okay.
It could catch on fire very easily.
Okay. So it's made of wood. They built it themselves. It could catch on fire easily. And what if a storm came? Like, Florida, we've got the storms coming all the time. Not all the time, but what can happen in a hurricane or a bad storm?
It could get knocked.
It can get knocked down very easily. The houses, the homes, they can get knocked down because, I hate to say it, I wouldn't want to hurt their feelings, but to me, they kind of just look like shacks. That was not their number one priority. What could you tell me a little bit more about the planters? Or about both? Seems like everyone over here is answering. These people over here are sleeping. Come on, get in the game. Emmanuel.
The planters, if a storm comes, their house will not be knocked down easily, or it has to be a big storm to knock down.
Why is that? Why are their houses so? They have sturdy homes. And what else? It's not just a little shack. What else is it like?
And it was made of bricks.
Okay. Could be made of brick. Okay. Because it's not a shack. It's do you know this word? It's a mansion. It's really fancy and nice. What else can you tell me? Just not about their homes, something else about them, Leah?
For the planters, instead of just keeping what they planted, they sell it for money.
All right, that's what we call the cash crop. They're not just growing enough for their today or tomorrow or next week. They have enough left over, they can sell it. That's how they make money. What else can you tell me, Martin Ray?
Planters were more rich than poor farmers.
Okay, these guys, they're rich. They're used to that lifestyle under the British, that whole slave thing and the plantation thing. It was a much fancier and nicer lifestyle. I already kind of gave it away. These people, they are poor. What are they growing? Janessa?
I was going to say something for both.
Okay.
They both have homes.
They both do have homes. And what else do they both do? Tamia?
This is one for the planters.
Back to planters? Okay, I'm good with that.
They plant cotton and sugarcane.
Okay, we said that these are some of the cash crops. Cotton, sugarcane. Can I get something else up here in our Venn diagram? Caitlin?
What is sugarcane?
Sugarcane? It's a kind of, it's a stalk. And when they squeeze it and they process it, sugar can come from it. We still grow it in Florida today. They refine it, and that's how you get sugar. All right? Sarah?
They both plant.
Great. They're both farmers. Even though these guys are wealthy and these ones are poor, they both are farmers. If you remember this morning when we were talking about transportation and we were talking about that woman, Amazing Alice, we're now in social studies talking about transportation again. We made this huge list. What are some of the things that were available to the early Floridians, those people who just came to the Florida territory? What were some kind of things that you read about in here? What's something that they could move? Yes, Maria? Steamboat. That's one thing they could use. What's another thing they could use in those days, not today? Caitlin?
Animals.
We could use animals. Yes. What else could you use in those days, India?
Wagon.
Sure thing. What else could they use? Dustin?
Canoes.
They could have. But now I want to focus on transportation of goods to a market. If you were one of those wealthy planters and you want to take your cotton or your sugarcane to market, how would I do it? What would be the best way to do it? Aaron?
Walk.
You think if I had 100 pounds of cotton, I want to carry it to the port? You know, I haven't been doing much weightlifting. That would be really, really hard for me. Sarah?
Go in a boat.
Go in a boat. And they had sailboats in those days. But what if it wasn't a windy day? And what if I had sugar cane, and if I left it out, it would start to get rotten? How can I get these things, this sugar cane or this cotton, before it gets ruined? Samantha? Train. That is another one of the things that they just... And if you look back to, on page 184, they're talking about the first trains. Excuse me, it's on 185. It said this first invention in Florida, 1836. If you look down here, you'll see the number. You point to it right there, 836. Put your finger under it. 836, the railroad was Florida's first railroad, connected Tallahassee with Port Leon. So that went from east to west because the roads, even though they didn't have cars, they had boats, they could take their wagons pulled by their horses and go back and forth, but the roads were terrible. That trip right all the way around the Florida Peninsula in sailboats could take forever. And if there was a hurricane, it could be deadly. So this invention of the steamboat is really important. Okay, what I'd like you to do is I want you to take some kind of transportation. I'll let you pick the two that you think are good. You can take something from the olden days and compare it to something new. Because the ones we underlined are ones from the olden days. The ones that we didn't underline, those are modern ones. The title of your Venn diagram is going to be transportation. You are going to pick two forms of transportation. You tell me what is specific to that one. The other one, you're comparing them. How are they alike in the middle? This is both. And then you pick the two over here. Go ahead. Do it on that paper you have on your desk. Two big circles. Label what you're comparing so I know how it's alike and how it's different. Use your book. I didn't even mention this today. You've heard me say it before, but rereading for information is one of the best ways you can get information. Hearing about how things go faster, how things get fuel. Okay. Very good. Got a lot of good ideas. 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Terrific. You should have at least 3 or 4 in each circle. You know, again, this is what good readers do. They don't just read stuff and move on. They put it so it goes with other things they know. We've talked about webbing before and how we have brainstormed and how you put things in what we call a schema so you can figure out how things go together. The same with this. This gets it in your mind. It's called a graphic organizer. How things are alike and how things are different. It helps bring it clear to your mind. And it's really an easy way to look at information, too. Let's say tomorrow we were having a test, and I made you write an essay about compare and contrast two forms of transportation in the time of the early Florida Territory. You could study this, and in a minute have your information organized. All right. Is there anyone who would like to share their Venn diagram with us real quickly before we go on to one more thing for the day? Martin Ray, come on up. Let's see what you got. Okay. Okay. What did you compare and contrast?
A shuttle and a wagon. A shuttle, fast and rapid. A wagon, slow and steady. A shuttle wings and flies. A wagon stays on land.
Good.
A shuttle high-tech. A wagon low-tech.
Excellent.
A shuttle no gravity and a wagon gravity. And for both, I only got to put one because that's the only thing I thought was for both used for transportation.
Beautiful. Now, how did you come up with these things? Where did you get these ideas?
I just wanted to do something really different from each other.
Okay. So he loved that they had a lot of different things, but he knew they were both transportation. That's what we've been talking about almost all day. Transportation's been our theme. Beautiful work, Martin Ray. Excellent. We have another person who would like to come up and share what they compared and contrasted. How about Janessa? Come on up. What did you compare?
A steamboat and a canoe.
Okay.
A steamboat has steam, a boiler room. It's huge. It's faster than a canoe. It has a pilot and a cabin.
Yes.
They're both alike because they're in water, and they are both a boat, and they both are transportation, and the canoe has paddles, and it's small and it's slow.
Right. What I should have done is put it up on our document camera and show everyone. But we'll hang these up so people can see them. Did a beautiful job.